Dr. Zhu, welcome to CGTN at Davos.
Thank you for having me.
As member both of the Governing Council and also of the Board of Trustees of World Economic Forum, I just wonder personally, what are your expectations for this year?
This year, as a particularly, we're living a very uncertain world with Brexit, with a new elected President Donald Trump is going to White House. And given the global economy is still in the low, moderate growth path. So at this moment, this forum bring all those peoples, from different business, governments and the medians like you come here to talk.
Well, this year is going to be very different, isn't it? I mean, Chinese President Xi Jinping, for the very first time here in Davos, to attend and also speak to the members of WEF. So many are wondering, what is likely to be the response coming from the audience here? What do you think are some of the most important points people are interested in hearing more about?
China is the number 2 economy in the world today. It's the number 1 for the emerging export countries now. So China is extremely important in global economy. I think that set the pace for Chinese roles in the global economy today. I think it's very important. So in that sense, a strong, stable Chinese growth, a continued open-minded policy, I think those things were very important for the global and for the audience here.
But Dr. Zhu, Chinese economy has its own challenges as well. On the one hand, there's environmental issues, the smog, for example. On the other hand, the country is trying to transform its economy, but there are issues like aging and urbanization. How would China be able to do this? I mean, on the one hand, handle its own challenges. On the other, still keep on to be the engine of growth for the rest of the world. Would China be able to balance these two well?
I think you had a very good point. Chinese economy facing a lot of challenges, rebalancing from, for example, reduce investments, increase consumptions, increase service sectors, reduce manufacturers. But those things are doing well now. We observed the change happen in the past few years. The service sector really picked up, consumption picked up now, and pay more roles into promote the growth now. I think this is very good. Now, obviously, there are more challenges China is facing. For example, you mentioned pollution is a big issue, right? And further reform. But if you're looking for in the past 30 years, what China did to support the growth and to transform China from 30 years of very old, poor China to today a modern, strong China, reform and openness. There's two things. So I think China will continue to reform to open to the whole world because China benefits from the globalization. I think this is a very important thing, and China supports globalization. So in that sense, China, to solve the domestic challenges by continue to reform and to open up, which also is the way to support the global economic growth and to support the global cooperation.
So what about the U.S. economy? There's been so much talk about its potential, particularly after President-elect Trump becomes the host of the White House. What's likely to happen?
Well, U.S. economy really undergoing some, I call it secular trends, as means a deep structure change, and facing quite a lot of challenges because today you will see the capacity utilization is really dropping from 90% in 1970s all the way down today is 75.5 is really low, and the investments are also very low, and the labor participation ratio also drops, and the income distribution is really and the worsen, and the gap between the richest top and the poor and become wider and wider. So U.S. is facing tremendous challenges today.
Whether Donald Trump, the U.S. future president, is going to be the solution or the other way around?
Yeah, Trump have his way. He want to have a tighter monetary policy and accommodating fiscal policy to do the stimulus, infrastructure investments. He want to do the supply side policy, for example, corporate tax reform. I think those things actually is needed by the U.S. economy. But those are very technical issues. The only thing is we just heard what he says. We have no idea details. We have no idea what would he to implement his policies.
People are talking about the possibility. What if one of the biggest economies in the world start with even more protectionism? It's very likely all the other economies are going to react to that, and that's going to be a vicious cycle. So at this point, Dr. Zhu, how do you think China should be prepared?
That's very true. That's very true. If you're looking for the history in the past, it's all the time. If someone launches a trade war, the other part will react in the same way. So which exactly becomes the vicious cycle, as I mentioned, which is the lose-lose situation for everyone, right? So this is a bad situation. So today, I think it's really things we need to sit down to talk about the cooperation rather than to fight with the trade war. And then we have WTO, right? If there's issues, we can bring these issues to WTOs. This is the organization to set up to solve those issues. So I think go through the talking, negotiation, and sit down to talk, and it's a much better way than to have the trade war. I think the world cannot afford trade war today.